Man, there's been so much bad Xbox news recently. It seems like times have finally slowed down. Maybe they're getting the brand back on track, after all those debacles with Game Pass and shutting down studios. I mean, PlayStation recently just shut down Blue Point Games, the people that did the Demon's Souls remake. And I mean, we've had a lot of bad gaming news recently, so surely things are going to pick up from here, right?
Phil Spencer is retiring from Xbox, and Sarah Bond is resigning.
It's about time. What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today we're looking at the retirement of Xbox. Perhaps this brand will be retired, just as Phil Spencer is retiring. It seems Xbox leadership is all being restructured. Sarah Bond is out, she's retiring. Matt Booty has been promoted to some position. We'll get to all that soon enough. But big leadership restructuring at Xbox right now. So this is pretty big news. And this is something I feel like has been a long time coming. It's very surreal to hear that Phil Spencer's, I'm done. He's retiring. That's crazy to me, because he's been there for a long time. Now, the question on all of our minds is, what does this mean for Xbox? What are the ramifications? Who's going to replace him? Will things get better, or will we find more basements in rock bottom? Time will tell, but I'm kind of unsure at the moment. Now, before we dive into this retirement stuff, make sure you're subscribed to Actman TV. I've been posting a lot more frequently on this channel, and I'd love to see us hit 320,000 subscribers with this video. Let's see if we can make it happen. So if you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button. Now let's talk about Phil's legacy, right? And how we're all gonna look back at this. Phil spent 37 years at Microsoft. That's longer than I have been alive for. Now he's currently 58, so retirement at this age, seems about right. But then there's retirement and retirement. Get the fuck out. Retire.
Then retire. Get out.
Phil joined Xbox in 2001, so he's been there since the very beginning, for better or worse. And he initially became Xbox CEO and head of Xbox Live after Don Mattrick stepped down, resigned, or was transferred. Don Mattrick, of course, had basically torched all of the goodwill from the OG and 360 Xbox eras with the Xbox One and its focus on TV.
Fortunately, we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Right. We don't have to go over old history, but suffice to say, Xbox needed a change in leadership after the Xbox One debacle, and Phil seemed to fill those shoes very nicely. He took on a very gamer-centric approach. He appeared to play a lot of games himself. I met him one time at the Halo Wars 2 launch party. When I met him, he was a great guy. We talked about games and all that. What else would we talk about, right? And he prioritized backwards compatibility. All these pro-consumer features, right? He made great strides in making games more accessible, cross-platform, and for a time, Game Pass truly was the best deal in gaming. Little did we know of their ultimate goal to, pull the rug out from under us, but for a time, things were looking very good for Xbox. I'd say between the years after he became CEO, up until about 2019, 2020, Xbox was looking pretty good. And he always had pretty solid stage presence at events, but that's not where we're at right now. There is a world where we lament Phil retiring, and we say, hey, good job, buddy. You really steered this ship in the right direction after, you hopped on board the sinking Titanic, and somehow you repaired it. But that's not how we're looking back at his legacy, because in more recent years, Xbox has increased the price of literally everything, from the consoles to Game Pass, the cost of games. They tried to make Outer Worlds 2 $80. They have been nickel and diming us, but in some ways worse than that, Xbox has been notorious for shutting down studios that don't produce games, like just burning money on projects and then canceling them. Massive layoffs, just so many layoffs. It became a meme. Studio shutdowns, game cancellations. I mean, you could just tell by the content on this channel that's Xbox related. I have a whole playlist of like the decline of Xbox saga. There's been so much bad news and material to work with. If you want my honest opinion, this is the right call. As for if the people replacing Phil, Matt Booty's position and Sarah Bond's position, as if those people are going to be better, I doubt it. We'll see, but I doubt it. In any case, Phil leaves behind a complicated history, and no doubt members of the industry are going to, sniff his farts and pretend like he did nothing but good things, but realistically, yeah, he just became any other Microsoft stooge that just coldly and relentlessly cuts costs at the same time they're spending $70 billion to acquire Activision Blizzard, and then seemingly doing nothing to really change the culture over there as far as we can tell. And, so that decision kind of ended up being a huge misfire. Now, I want to pose a question real quick. In your opinion, do you think Phil Spencer's time at Xbox overall had a good impact or a negative one? And don't just think about where we are now, but our journey. So here's what we got. This was broken by IGN. Phil Spencer retiring, Sarah Bond out, Matt Booty promoted as Microsoft AI exec Asha Sharma named a new Xbox boss. So, yeah, we need more AI. That's what we need. We didn't have enough of it yet. Wait, do I still have water? Oh my god, I should give my water to Microsoft for their data centers. Phil Spencer is retiring. Sources familiar with the matter who are not authorized to speak publicly confirmed to IGN. His retirement is effective on Monday. Meanwhile, Xbox President Sarah Bond, long thought by many both inside and outside of Microsoft to be Spencer's heir apparent, has resigned. 1 is an incident, 2 is a coincidence, 3 is a pattern. Finally, Game Studios head Matt Booty is being promoted to Chief Content Officer and will work closely with Sharma. So 2 of the 3 are out. Now, for those of you that have watched my Xbox videos, as time has gone on, I have gotten to be less and less of a fan of these 3 as I've seen the result of their management, and so it is time for a change in leadership once everything is collapsing. I mean, Xbox has basically become a laughing stock, right? And we'll see that when we check Twitter and see some of the funny memes here. I'll share one right now, though. It's just I thought it was too ironic. The last person Phil Spencer laid off was himself. Ironic. He could lay off others and himself. The new CEO of Microsoft Gaming will be Asha Sharma, currently the president of Microsoft's core AI product. Oh god, do we talk about that now? So here's what Phil Spencer said in his email to Microsoft staff. Last fall, I shared with Satya that I was thinking about stepping back and starting the next chapter of my life. After ruining what goodwill remained with the Xbox brand, I've decided to wash my hands and move on with life, a multi-millionaire. Oh, he didn't say that. From that moment, we aligned on approaching this transition with intention, ensuring stability and strengthening the foundation we've built. Xbox has always been more than a business. It's a vibrant community of players, creators, and teams who care deeply about what we build and how we build it. Just generic corporate slop. This is kind of what he's turned into. He used to feel like a real human being, and then he just... Today marks an exciting new chapter for Microsoft Gaming. Sure. As Asha Sharma steps into the role of CEO, and I want to be the first to welcome her into replacing me. Working with her over the past several months has given me tremendous confidence that I apparently did not have in myself. He brings genuine curiosity, clarity, and a deep commitment to implementing AI and ruining everything. To understanding players, creators, and the decisions that shape our future. We know this is an important moment for all of our 12 fans, partners, and teams, and we've committed to getting it right. I'll remain in an advisory role through the summer to support a smooth handoff. Yeah, Asha, so that new Fable game, I would probably cancel that just because, we really want to lay off the staff. And are there any other games we should cancel? Yeah, you should cancel those. Yeah, lay them off. Yeah, so it's really just... I feel like all of these statements are for the investors to not tank the stock so much, because he's really not reflecting on, what he accomplished. It's like, hey, I'm going away. Here's the new CEO. My job is to make her look good. Yeah, he says it's rare in life to know when a chapter is closing, but after 38 years at Microsoft, that moment has arrived for me. Yeah, so it's really nothing. I don't get any sort of feelings evoked from this. My time was great. I can't believe we accomplished this. My favorite game was such and such. It's just very bland corpo speak that lacks any sort of humanity to me, You've been at a company for that long, you'd think you'd have more to say about it. If you were retiring, some people in very high positions of leadership, they don't retire. They step down or resign or be transferred to a different department, or they get promoted into a different position promoted, where they have less authority over the things that they fucked up. So, but what do people on Twitter think? The new person in charge of Xbox has no gaming background and is the current president of Core AI. In a new interview with Variety, new minted Microsoft gaming CEO Asha Sharma says she has no tolerance for bad AI. Oh, really? Really? Microsoft, oh my god. Oh. What you have to remember, people, is that these statements have been carefully handcrafted to try and make the company seem as investable as possible, as valuable as possible. This is what they're going. This is the angle. I don't like bad AI. I only worked on the good AI, the one that replaces all of you. AI has long been part of gaming and will continue to be, but great stories are created by humans. Wow, we need the CEO of Xbox to reassure us that people still matter. No tolerance for bad AI. Her literal job was making AI slop at Microsoft that everyone has complained about. Yeah. Leading the product portfolio for AI models, apps, agents, responsible AI, and developer tools. Yeah. So all that AI bullshit we've been complaining about, you know, the stuff that's raising your electricity bill, that's making water more expensive, that's quintupling the price of essential computer parts, the thing that is providing us with very little value and poisoning local ecosystems. Yeah, she was in charge of that. So... Oh, don't forget replacing artists for Call of Duty and adding in all that AI generated bullshit crap. This could very well be a downgrade. Legendary Drop says, no history in games, no interest in games. Xbox getting suffocated by Microsoft just as Peter Moore feared many years ago. End of an age, end of an era, and the end of Xbox. I've been over Xbox for a while. I mean, it's like they've given me nothing to celebrate. To be fair, I say that, but I have been playing Age of Empires 2 on PC, and the fact that that is somehow playable on Xbox is cool. Like, there are cool things about Xbox, but it seems like that era of genuine innovation has, like, we've reached the max point of accessibility for Xbox games because they're all on PC. Xbox Play Anywhere. Every Xbox exclusive is now coming to PlayStation, so there's really nothing left for the Xbox brand itself. There's not really anything to define it, and now someone is coming in to manage it with a background in AI, no background in gaming. Dan's Gaming says, my theory is that Phil and Sarah did not want to shove AI into everything at Xbox, so they were forced to retire and resign. Microsoft is replacing them with someone with a strong background in AI and no experience in gaming. This is just getting insane. Could be. Maybe Phil towed the line, and maybe a lot of those studio closures and game cancellations and all that were brought down by the hammer of Satya Nadella. Could be, but he carried him out, so, you know, I was just following orders. In any case, this is what the original founders of Xbox had always worried. This is why Bungie left Microsoft, is because Microsoft has always had a way of ruining things that are good instead of, like, keeping the goose that lays the golden eggs alive and just letting it be. Let it live on the farm, right? Because Microsoft makes all of their money elsewhere. And so Xbox was successful because it was autonomous, more or less. But, you know, after the Activision Blizzard acquisition, you know, that's $70 billion. That's a lot of money. And so now Microsoft has to be involved. And I think that's the price we're paying for what's happening right now. Kotaku posts Xbox is dead. Also, as a side note, isn't it hilarious that no layoffs at Xbox as a result of leadership shakeup? This is news. No layoffs at Xbox. The fact that is, like, worthy of reporting is just wild. It shows you where we are. So part of Matt Booty's statement says, my focus is on supporting the teams and leaders we have in place and creating the conditions for them to do their best work. To be clear, there are no organizational changes underway for our studios. That is the shocking part. You would think, oh, we're getting rid of high leadership positions. Surely that's going to affect the studios and the games, but PC Gamer says the word layoffs doesn't actually appear in Booty's message or in any of the others posted by Spencer, Sharma, or Satya. But as we've learned over the past few years, game industry executives love to deploy euphemisms and 25-cent words when talking about layoffs and their justifications for them. So when Booty says no organizational changes, he means nobody's being shown the door. But I think it's safe to say that this is not the end of the story. I think things are probably going to get worse before and even if they get better. as Legacy Killa posts here, very likely Sarah Bond quit when finding out she was being passed over as Microsoft Gaming CEO. Microsoft obviously wanted to go in a different direction. That your theory has some credence, I would say. But she posted something just 3 hours ago on LinkedIn. So maybe she was shown the door. Dude, Xbox is so fucked. Mudahar says, I don't doubt a gaming crash is on the way. Thankfully, tons of indie stuff worth your time gets released, so you might as well enjoy that. Yeah, I've heard rumblings of a gaming crash for quite some time now, and I think it's been a slow but consistent crash as all these studios shut down. Fucking High Guard, just a big, gigantic waste of money, you know. Blue Point, it seems like despite video games and the gaming industry being like the most profitable entertainment business on the planet, like, what we mostly hear is layoffs and studio shutdowns and game cancellations and all this stuff that would indicate it's in like a recession or something. Asha says, today I begin my role as CEO of Xbox. Here are my 3 commitments. Great games. Return of Xbox. Future of play. Yeah, Xbox has returned. Whatever that means. At future of play. Will I be able to play video games? Will you release games? Here's what Asha says. I feel 2 things at once, humility and urgency. Humility because this team has built something extraordinary over decades and then torn it down. Urgency because gaming is in a period of rapid change and we need to move with clarity and conviction if we are going to replace all of our employees with AI. I am stepping into work shaped by generations of artists, engineers, designers, writers, musicians, operators, and more who create worlds that have brought joy and deep personal meaning to hundreds of millions of players. All people we have routinely expressed we do not care about employing or taking care of. My first job is simple. Understand what makes this work and protect it. What does make it work? Maybe you could elaborate on that? No? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, let's leave that vague. That starts with 3 commitments. First, great games. Something Xbox has been missing for quite a while. Unforgettable characters, stories that make us feel, innovative gameplay, and creative excellence. We will empower our studios, invest in iconic franchises, and back bold new ideas. We will take risks. We'll enter new categories and markets where we can add real value grounded in what players care about most. So, nothing specific. Corporate jargon. I promoted Matt Booty in honor of this commitment. He understands the craft and the challenges of building great games, has led teams that deliver award-winning work, and then shut those studios down like Hi-Fi Rush. He has earned the trust of game developers across the industry. Objection. Bullshit. That's bullshit. And his name is Booty for a reason. Second commitment, the return of Xbox. We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us for the past 25 years, and to the developers who build the expansive blah 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 blah. Does this mean you are going to prioritize, like, the console, the brand? That's what it sounds like, but obviously this is, once again, written in a way to be as bland, mundane, and, you know, inoffensive as possible and non-specific, right? Has there been a shift away from Xbox as a brand? Well, clearly there has, but, you know, they're not going to mention anything specific about that. Her third commitment is the future of play. We are witnessing the reinvention of play. Nobody says that about video games. The future of video, the reinvention of gaming or video games, but play? Like hopscotch? Like play chess? Play anywhere? Play chess? It's a strange choice of words. To meet the moment, we will invent new business models. Oh, yes. What we needed was new business models, of course, above anything else. I'm very jaded, can you tell? And new ways to play by leaning into what we already have. But we will not treat those worlds as static IP to milk and monetize. Really. I want to believe you. I have no reason to believe you, but I hope you do this. And maybe pull out some of your old decaying franchises. Maybe pull them out of the tomb. Banjo-Kazooie, Conker, just to name 2. As monetization and AI evolve and influence this future, we will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. Interesting. As the chief of AI production at Microsoft, we're not going to get AI slop. The fact that this is like what they're pointing out, clearly they've heard the message. I've been saying Microsoft this entire video and not micro slop. I can't believe it. I've let you guys down. Games are and always will be art, crafted by humans and created with the most innovative technology provided by us. I want to return to that renegade spirit that Xbox built in the first place. I wanted to have that spirit again too. You know, for a while it was like the outlier, the cool Xbox brand and all that. And it came out as like a passion project, you know, from Microsoft's end. The brand did always feel like a bit of an underdog, going up against the likes of Sony, Nintendo, Steam, Valve. But now it's really kind of like given up all the competitive edge it once had. And so maybe that's what she's trying to get at is, hey, we're going to try to be competitive again. We're going to invest in like the Xbox brand and give you reasons to buy consoles. It is kind of interesting how, you know, the whole RAM chip shortage, computer part shortage is driven by AI, which you were like ahead of for Microsoft. And so if you're going to try to prioritize selling consoles again and like giving people a reason to buy a console, what do we do about all the RAM and stuff that we need? Yeah, I mean, I have no reason to like hate this woman or anything. I don't know anything about her, but therefore I have no reason to believe in her. And judging by the trajectory that Xbox has been on for the last 4 years, it's hard to believe that things are just suddenly going to get better. The fact that you're talking about, oh, there's not going to be AI slop. You know, usually when companies say, oh, we're not going to do this horrible thing, they end up doing it just at a later time. In any case, it's hard to trust someone who has no real experience in gaming or managing video game projects. Things could just get way, way worse. I feel like the method that you used to use to climb the corporate ladder was like you would start at the ground level and work your way up such that you understood the business at every single level and you had experience working in that. But now it's like you work all the way up in this other division that has nothing to do with this one really at all, and then you just laterally jump over to the side, and now you don't have any experience on all of the floors below you. At least that's how it always made sense to me in terms of corporations and how people get promoted and whatnot. But yeah, overall, strange day for Xbox. Not could things get worse from here? It's not really very reassuring, but it's also, it seemed like necessary to cull the leadership that had been running Xbox and all of its franchises into the dirt. Hopefully there's some good Xbox news down the line. I need to check out that Fable trailer though. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. What do you think about Xbox in the current state? What do you think about Phil Spencer right now? How would you rate his legacy? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to Actman TV for more awesome content. All right, everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Actman signing out. Peace.